For the evening snooker, 9th frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
John Street just sent him underway. Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off. If you can enjoy this as much as I think I'm going to, you're in for a good Sunday night. First commentary comes from John Spencer and Clive Everton.
Ronnie O'Sullivan carrying into the final session some sense of regret at missed opportunities this afternoon. He had a good chance to be 5-2 up. Steve Davis simply relishing the battle ahead.
Well, Steve's been a little fortunate that red run safe, but he did look to see should he miss it. That was the only ball he could leave.
Two choices for O'Sullivan here to cover the red over the left-hand corner pocket, behind yellow and red near the middle.
Might actually be having a go in. Yes. And again, same shot that Steve played, knew it was reasonably safe.
Thank you,
if he
ladies and
missed
gentlemen.
it.
I'm sure we'd all enjoy it if you kept quiet.
Yes, O'Sullivan did take the pot on in the end, but he also did examine the safety options. Plenty of encouragement for O'Sullivan, but Davis played that pot in such a way as to cover the one to the middle.
Yes, and maybe a double on the cards for Ronnie here.
A mammoth crowd here at Wembley, by far the biggest arena on the circuit. 2,700 in tonight, which is a big crowd around a playing area 12 foot by 6.
That was a risky shot to take on, but what a terrific pot.
9. 14. 15. 20.
Well, not quite come far enough for the red. I think he intended the one at the back of the pack there. But no problems.
$21.
Yes, and I think this is the red he played for
28.
the previous shot.
29. 36.
Davis knows there's a possibility that O'Sullivan will win the frame at this visit.
37.
O'Sullivan badly needs to make a good start before Davis has the chance to bog the exchanges down.
Yes, Clive, I think that's
44.
what started this break off. I think Ronnie decided to take that long red into the green pocket rather than get bogged down with the safety.
45. 52. 53. 60. 61.
Staying or going?
68.
When he's in this mood, no one makes it look more simple than Ronnie. Such a fluent player, complete natural.
69. 74. 75.
So O'Sullivan has got this frame safely tucked away.
$81. 82.
Well, I make it a possible 140, I think,
89.
Clive. I don't think we'll see that, of course. We won't be taking
90.
blacks with all the reds. But I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him clear the table.
96.
Well, having said that, he's just run out of position.
96. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So with that dashing break of 96, O'Sullivan away to the flying start that he needs.
Thank you, gentlemen. Quiet, please.
However, in his experienced fashion, Davis just keeping him waiting a while, just getting a feel of the table.
6. 7.
Having won the first frame of the evening, O'Sullivan wants to get on with the next, but Davis will make him wait.
Yeah, so quite rightly so. I mean, Steve, one shot, and Doesn't want to come
14.
out for the second frame without having a bit of a knock on the table, get his confidence going.
Ooh. 17. $21. 26.
'So Davis has reassured himself that he's queuing just as well this evening as he was this afternoon, but it's O'Sullivan who had already secured the frame with that break of 96 to regain the lead at 5-4. And of course, break building is O'Sullivan's forte. 2 centuries to start this match, 116 and 113. 3 half centuries, a couple of supporting efforts, and in only 5 years as a professional he's made 118 centuries in competition. Steve Davis, the master tactician, who has relished lately practicing a great deal at Witham Snooker Centre with some promising young players there. Not such a heavy scorer in terms of break making, only 1/2 century in this match, but you don't necessarily have to make breaks to win. It does help though.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The 10th frame, Steve Davis to break. Thank you. I'd ask once again, please, to respect both players and keep quiet when they're on the shot. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's an excited crowd, and understandably, but 1 or 2 members of it a bit too excited, calling out as if this is a boxing contest. But you do need more concentration for snooker than you do for boxing.
A bad mistake from Ronnie. Wasn't such a thin contact needed on the red to take the white back to ball.
One.
And of course this is where that bit of practice Steve had at the end of the last frame could help him. And immediately
6.
coming down to try and remove that red just to the right of the black, which will open up the black into both corners.
7. 14. 15. 22. 23.
'Still a loose red to the left of the pink. but may decide to drop behind this one in the right cushion while he's got this perfect angle. Well, I think he's played for the one to the left of the pink, but has he gone hard enough?
Having a look to see whether the red slightly detached from the pack goes to the right middle. Difficult to tell at that angle.
Yes, obviously he's finished a little straight on the black here, so I have to screw back with left hand side. And doesn't look hard enough.
38.
And that looks like end of break.
Steve Davis.
Yes, and Ronnie at the first opportunity there, spreading the pack when playing safe.
Not a good safety from Davis that time. But O'Sullivan's failure at that red gives Davis a chance to increase his 38-point lead.
Yes, Ronnie, rather fortunate he knocked the black safe. Couldn't avoid the collision. And Steve, quite a bit of work to do to get good position with on a colour. And Nosey overhit that one.
Yes, overhit it by a long way. He wasn't intending to take the cue ball into baulk.
Yellow ball. One, Steve Davis.
Ronnie trying to rest against the red near the black. Yes, and this time a little more difficult for Ronnie. No easy path back to the ball.
There's a big difference between the very few seconds it takes O'Sullivan to come to the table and strike and the time that it takes Davis to make up his mind and strike. But there are no prizes for speed in this game. And although he does tend to take his time, it's very seldom that Steve Davis makes a wrong move in terms of an incorrect shot selection.
Yes, and mistake from Ronnie. Intended to come off the cushion and hit the red half ball to take the white back to ball. The first positional shot is the important one for Steve.
1.
Well, again, just overhit it, but the kiss on the green has helped the situation.
Six. Six. Steve Davis.
Davis's first unforced error of the session. Doesn't seem to have left anything though.
Well, it looks as though Ronnie's going to try and bring the white round the back of the yellow back cushion. I'll be happy with that. this is just what Ronnie wanted now, a safety shot and bring the black into play.
Yes, that makes it more difficult for Davis to defend his 45-point lead. On the other hand, if he did get in first, it would make it easier for him to clinch the frame. Came out well and knocked the black to a safer position.
Well, the green isn't on its spot, so it may be potable into its own pocket.
Give me an opinion, John. Do you think O'Sullivan played to double the red?
4.
Well, I have my doubts. I think he was concentrating on getting the white down at the baulk end. You never know with Ronnie.
5.
Well, whether the initial red was luck or skill,
10.
he has got a chance to snatch the frame.
11.
Yes, it's amazing how quickly
17.
he developed the balls into such a good situation.
18.
And that was a lot better shot than it looked. Judged it to perfection.
24. 25. 31. 32. 38. 39. 45. 46.
Yes, and this next shot after the pink could be the most difficult. That's if he takes the pink. He could take the yellow here to get it back on its own spot.
$52. 54.
Should win the frame now.
57. 61. 66. 25. 72.
Only 4 minutes for that winning break of 72. It puts Ronnie O'Sullivan 2 clear once more. He leads by 6 frames to 4.
6-4, they will carry on as they return. You can't blame them for taking little visits away from the arena because it's so full of tension, as you've heard from the crowd. And my goodness, they've had to play a lot of snooker to get here to this final. Pretty contrasting routes, really. There's Ronnie O'Sullivan, who had a good win against Dave Harold. Then that epic quarter-final. We said that was one of the most exciting matches we'd seen in the Masters for years, knocking out Stephen Hendry 6 frames to 4. Ronnie said afterwards he didn't think he'd played very well. Hendry said he didn't think he'd played very well. But it was one of those matches which the excitement is there, never mind the high standard of snooker. These 2 players put them on themselves. And then in the semi-final, Nigel Bond, 6-5. That was a bit of a struggle for Hendry. Bond came back at him, had him at one stage, but O'Sullivan beat him 6 frames to 5. So as for Steve Davis, well, Alan McManus, you may well have heard about that. You won't have seen it all because it started on a Tuesday and finished on a Wednesday. It went on forever. He had a pretty long drawn-out one against Peter Ebden as well, 6-4. I'm beginning to think the nugget is back, and he was certainly back when he had a very good win over Ken Doherty, 6 frames to 1. Long matches for all of them. John Virgo has been seeing them all here with me. John, they had a lot of work to do, haven't they?
Well, they had, and as you've so rightly said on many occasions, this is for the top players in the world. So there's no easy games, and they're here by rights.
Watching this here this evening, Ronnie now gone into a 2-frame lead at 6 frames to 4. But this is the situation which Davis really relishes, and he loves the challenge.
Well, he does, but when Ronnie said before the start of this evening's session that he was going to look forward, he was going to enjoy it, and he was going to go for his shots, and Clive Everton mentioned in that frame, did he play the double?
Yeah, there was a start of the break, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he knows the ball's going near the pocket, so it was a double, and the cue ball was going to be in a safe position, and from that situation, he cleared up. Great performance.
He did. Good performance, which takes them to the score where they are right at this moment, 6-4. Just reminding you, it's the first to 10, and we're with it all the way through. With Steve Davis there, I might say, we're with it all the way through, no matter how long it takes. 6-4 at the moment in this Benson Hedges Masters final at Wembley on the final night of 1997. Plenty of experience, by the way, in the commentary box, because John Spencer is the first ever Masters winner in 75, and Clive Everton, I'm sure he's been to every one and written millions of words of prose about it, so you can't argue with these 2.
Yes, every day's play I've seen since the event started in 1975. And I've never seen a more dashing and fluent break builder than Ronnie O'Sullivan.
1, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Who is, for the 4th time in this match, 2 frames ahead. Davis a couple of times reduced the gap to 1, and then won the last 2 frames this afternoon to level at 4 all. Danger signals again, though, if he were to lose this frame.
Yes, and Steve has a safety shot off the pack round the back of the 2 reds to the right of the table, but I don't think he wants to open the pack up. Well, the crowd applauding, but I think Steve can get through to this red. Good
to see the Davis revival this week, but still not successful with a high percentage of long pots.
Well, didn't intend the kiss on the middle angle, but no damage done. Steve just got a safety shot now back. Try and get behind that yellow.
Bit too thick for that.
Well,
One.
risky shot from Ronnie, but what a pot.
Six. Seven. Thirteen. 14. $21. 22.
Yes, and looking like another big one coming up.
29.
Don't matter how good a tactician you are when Ronnie's in this sort of form. Nothing you can do.
$30. 33.
And this time not the best of shots from Ronnie. Wanted to be much straighter on this red.
$34.
And this time he'll be opening the pack, so an important shot here.
$41.
So Davis now contemplating the possibility of falling 3 frames behind.
42.
After this visit.
Yes, and you have to say, Clive, he's not done a lot wrong. Just that Ronnie has scored so heavily throughout the whole
49.
match.
Yes, some players are very patient in safety exchanges.
57.
But O'Sullivan As soon as he sees a pot to go for, even if it's risky, he gets straight in there.
62. 63.
Wouldn't work for everybody, because very few players can pot as well as he does.
69. 70.
Yes, I mean, that sort of shot, he makes it
77.
look so simple.
78. 85. 86. 93.
This isn't the only time it takes him any length of time to play a shot. He has to use the rest.
94.
Well, how about that, crowd?
Terrific.
103.
You won't see many better shots than that. The amount of left-hand side on the white there was tremendous.
106. 110.
O'Sullivan's own 116 is the front runner for the highest break prize.
115.
Left-handed.
21.
Oh, it would have been 128, but a marvellous 121. The last black just bounding out of the pocket and on the floor. What a crowd pleaser. So that exhibition of genius extends O'Sullivan's lead to 7-4. 3 clear for the first time. And what do you do about that? Davis certainly won't have given up. He will think, well, even the greatest players can't keep that up. They'll go off the boil. And he's just concentrating fiercely on the next frame. He's still just as in love with the game as ever he was. Practices a great deal at Whittam Snooker Centre with such players as Brian Morgan, who you saw in this tournament earlier, with Mark King, who actually beat him in the Welsh Open last week in reaching the final, and with Stuart Bingham, the world amateur champion. Davis hungry for success as ever he was, and still regards himself as a Premier League player.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet, please. When you're ready, the 12th frame, Steve Davis to break.
Well, I'm certain of one thing, that I don't think was the right shot to play, but when Ronnie's in this
Ronnie
mood,
O'Sullivan.
he just doesn't seem to be able to miss.
Yes, he wants to give Davis minimum opportunity to slow him down. If this is just a potting and break building match, then O'Sullivan a very strong favourite to win it.
Yes, and that's a good safety from Ronnie. Got Steve snookered on all red, so he'll be just trying to rest into those reds to the left of the pink. Looks like the pink just got through, but he may have left Ronnie a red on. And there you can see it.
1.
Of course, Clive, when someone like this is playing so well, every shot is pressure.
6. 7.
Well, just for once a poor shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And even if your policy is, as he said before this final session, to go for everything, then you've got to have the sense, when the odds are very much stacked against you, just to break it up with a sensible safety. And indeed, he's played a couple in this frame. O'Sullivan has played brilliantly so far this evening. He mustn't get carried away.
So shot to nothing for Steve here, the red below the pink into the left hand corner. Well, Ronnie looking round the angles of the green pocket, trying to just miss the blue. Not hard enough, I don't think.
Foul and a miss for Steve Davis.
But that was the right angle he was trying for.
Davis asks the referee, John Street, to replace the cue ball in its original position.
Is that Steve? All right.
Yes, and even Steve tapping the table there. Great shot. Well, I think Steve may have a red on into the right centre, the centre of those three reds.
the 1-1-6 and the 1-1-3 up until the halfway stage at 4-all. And Noel, of course, he's suddenly come out tonight. You probably heard him in the interval, said he wasn't very happy with it all. Well, if he wasn't very happy, he's producing some of the dream snooker you've ever seen. Anyway, as I said, they're on their interval at the moment. Don't worry, we'll be back. We won't miss a thing of this final here tonight and all the way through to the finish. And this Masters, I mean, it's producing some wonderful snooker, and it has. It's one of the oldest tournaments in the game, and over the 23 years, we've had some really wonderful matches. And there's really nothing like a bit of the old trip down memory lane. The faces you've come to love in their greatest hour. The first championship was played at the West Centre Hotel in London in 1975. World Championship winners Ray Reardon and John Spencer made the final which set the standard. It couldn't have been closer. The last frame tied, a respot black for the trophy.
Now, having been played over some 10 hours of play, with now the black ball only left. Who is going to pull this out of the bag? It's a great one. It's a great one by John Spencer. So Spencer becomes the first Benson & Hedges master.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Higgins!
Alex Higgins, the controversial Irishman, began a Masters era all of his own in 1978. His flair and arrogance made him an instant favourite with the London crowds. They shouted him to victory over the Canadian Cliff Thorburn.
A swerve around the green, onto the top cushion or onto the red. Oh no, he's taking a full swerve. Finally, it is the Canadian Cliff Thorburn who gives in and congratulates the Irishman who won the world title way back in 1972, has taken 3 titles in the past year and now claims the Benson Hedges title for his own.
He was the most natural player I've ever seen in my life. The shots he played, the way he played them, the panache. Yeah, Higgins, to me, was the most natural player I've ever seen.
A year later, the tournament moved to Wembley, where Higgins was aiming for a Masters double, but he was stopped by South African Perry Mons, who won the tournament without making a break of more than 50. (1980) and Terry Griffiths, already world champion, was up against Higgins in the Irishman's third final.
It's a bit special, the Conference Centre. And it's very special to play against Alex Higgins in those days because he just created an atmosphere that no other professionals has ever created when you go out there to play against him. It was live, it was electric out there, and your hair stood up in the back of your head when you went out there because it was tremendous, and you either accepted it for what it was or you sort of went underneath it, you know, and Alex had that type of effect on people, but he was a tremendous player to play against.
But again, it wasn't to be Higgins's year. The fashionable Welshman finished in style.
Looks as if he's attempting to double it.
Perfect camera shot of the world champion and now the Masters champion. This flat will bring his break to 131, a magnificent performance by this 31-year-old Welshman from Llanelli. Fabulous performance.
It was all like sort of Disney World to me, and I just went out and played and thought, isn't it great to be here, and played well and won the events, you know. But of course there was only a few tournaments in those days, So they were special.
1981, Higgins' affair with the Masters continued, out for revenge against Griffiths.
Wonderful setting.